We are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to Unlimited Freedom. This is Vaughn with Unlimited Freedom. We are broadcasting live. This is an emergency broadcast, emergency meeting. It is Sunday night, and I have, a lot of breaking news here that I've got to get to and that we need to talk about that affects some of the different platforms in this space, right? In the space that we all love, the space that we all, are part of, the crypto trading space, the crypto platform space, passive income platform space. And so these are some breaking events that are happening. So it's very important that we stay on top of it and that we have an understanding of what these events mean, what the possible repercussions are to the space, to the platforms affected, if any, and also kind of what's behind this push, right? And what's behind this new string of attacks, right, that are coming out against different cryptocurrency platforms. And the first one that we are going to start with is, well, we have a couple that we need to talk about. Okay, Jan Gregory, who has been a marketer for CloudFi, CoinMarketBull, Vortic United, is now being seriously, seriously taken to task, right, by the state of California, and not only him, but also the companies that he's involved with, right? So these are orders that are going out and the question is going to be how is this going to affect the companies? How is it going to affect the space, right? And what are the repercussions, right? Which nobody knows exactly what the future holds, but we remember, right, what happened and what tends to happen, right, when these types of fraud warnings come out, types of orders come out, desist and refrain orders. And in some cases charges, right? In some cases charges. One of the big platforms that is now being charged, right, federally, right, by a federal regulator, right? So that's going to have some serious repercussions for them, at least, and probably for the people who are involved in that platform. So what we got to do is we got to get you the sauce, right? We got to get you guys the exact sauce so that you know exactly what's going on and exactly what's not going on, right? So that when people come out to start freaking out and different people start saying all kinds of crazy things when the conspiracy theories start to happen, all of that stuff, I want to make sure that those of you who tune into the Unlimited Freedom Network know exactly what's going on and then exactly what we can expect moving forward. Okay. So we're going to be talking about four different platforms. Now, this has all happened within the last 3 days. Okay, with the last 3 days. So this is a blast, right? This is a nuclear right attack, kind of against the space, against the platforms in general. And you will see from the orders, right, and from the court filings and the documents, which I will share, right? As I go through these, I will share the links to everything that I talk about tonight on this broadcast, and you will see that you'll have to make up your own mind as to whether or not these charges are fair, right? Like some of the wording here, it's like what happens when a prosecutor brings charges, right? The prosecutor brings charges, then the court takes place, right? The trial takes place, or the plea bargain or whatever have you takes place. Then the charges are reduced or dropped. And usually the first charges are pretty heavy charges, and they do tend to stack the charges because they want to get a plea deal, right? They want to get somebody to admit, okay, you're right, I'll plead guilty to this and this and this. And this. That way they get a victory, right? And they get a win. Now I'm going to give you my stance on it, and I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you my position, and I'm going to give you my posture as to where I stand, right, on all of these things. Okay, so we're going to hit them one at a time. I want to start out with funds. Okay, and after I go through the actual complaint, then what I will do is go ahead and link the actual press release. in the description. Okay, this happened this 2 days ago, right? This is the CFTC has charged residents of Florida, Louisiana, and Arkansas in an ongoing cryptocurrency and precious metals fraud. Okay, this is funds. So once again, the CFTC is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, right? It's a federal agency, right? United States federal agency. CFTC charges residents of Florida, Louisiana, and Arkansas in ongoing cryptocurrency and precious metals fraud. Okay. The complaint is against funds. The order is against funds. This is coming out of Washington, D.C. Okay. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission today announced it has filed the complaint in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida against Renee Lauradell of Melbourne, Florida, Juan Pablo Valcarce of West Melbourne, Florida, Brian Early of New Orleans, Louisiana, Alicia Ann Kingery of Franklin, Arkansas, and their unincorporated entity funds, right? FUNDSZ. The complaint charges them with fraudulent solicitation from clients to purportedly trade in cryptocurrencies and precious metals. Okay, so now before you guys all start coming after me for talking about funds, understand the jig is up at this point, right? There's no point because I know that funds. Let's go private, right? Let's go private so that so that we can we can keep our company solvent, right? That Novatech did that back in the day. Funds has done it, and guys, the game over, right? Game over. Right. So this is all public information. This is all news. And so there's no reason not to talk about this at this point because already if you're part of funds, you already know that your money's locked up and frozen. You can't get to it anyway. Right. So this is what's happening. Let's go ahead and continue with the complaint. Okay, on August 2nd, U.S. District Court Judge Wendy Berger signed an ex parte statutory restraining order. Okay, this is important, guys. Freezing the defendant's assets. Okay, freezing the defendant's assets. What do I always tell you guys about the system, right? About the federal, about the states, the federal government, the U.S. They have the ability to freeze your assets, right? Which is why the orange pill is so important because when you take the orange pill, you're moving out of centralized finance into decentralized finance, right? Bitcoin is decentralized finance. Nobody can freeze, right, your assets when you are in the DeFi space. But this has happened, and some of these things they're actually doing things that you don't know, and we don't know because there's no legal precedent for what they're doing. Some of these charges that I'm going to be reading, never been done before, guys. Never been done before. So I mean, obviously they got a court fight ahead of them. They got lawyers that to get with. But let's go ahead and continue with this complaint because I do have a lot of things to get through tonight. Okay, so freezing the defendant's assets. Okay, so that's what you have to understand. The defendant's funds, the assets have been frozen. Preserving records, right? So they can't take down their site. They can't go away. They can't run away at this point. And appointing a temporary receiver. Okay, so what the temporary receiver represents is that they are going to take the money, right? So whatever funds has, if they have anything, is going to be taken by through the due process, right, by the feds, right? So the Fed is going to due process take their money, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys, because if I go and take somebody's money, I'm a criminal, right? Like if I go to my neighbor and take their money, I'm a criminal, right? But if the feds do it, oh, it's due process, right? Due process. It's the same thing, right? It's just still taking the money. It's just one person does it. Oh no, right? Oh no, you can't do that. But we can do it because we've got the power, right? We're the feds. We've got the power. Right. So we can do whatever we want. And we call it due process, right? Due process will roll you over and smash you all over the street, man. Due process locks people up for the rest of their life. Due process destroys families. Okay, but let me go back into the complaint here. All right, so they've appointed a temporary receiver. Okay, a hearing on the CFTC's motion for preliminary injunction is scheduled for August 23rd, right? So in 10 days from now. In its continuing litigation, the CFTC seeks restitution to defrauded investors, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, civil monetary penalties, permanent trading and registration bans, and a permanent injunction against further violations of the Commodity Exchange Act, CEA, which they may or may not have known if they were even violating that, right? Or they may or may not have even realized what that is. Okay, but here is what the CFTC is seeking. Okay, restitution. That means they're going to take the money. Okay, restitution to defrauded investors. Yeah, you defrauded investors. Yeah, that restitution is going into a victims fund, and you probably will never receive a dime. Right, but it's for rest. It's for you, right? They're doing it for you. Oh, you're never gonna get any money, but hey, they did it for you, right? They put it into their victims fund. So restitution for defrauded investors, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, okay, civil monetary penalties, right? So now this is civil, basically a civil penalty where they have to pay money, right? Or declare bankruptcy if they don't have the money. Permanent trading and registration bans, and a permanent injunction against further violations of the Commodity Exchange Act, CEA. Okay. What does this not cover? What are they not seeking? Okay. They are not seeking criminal jail time, right? They're not seeking federal prison time, right? They're not seeking that. They're seeking the money. You were doing something we don't like. You've got a lot of money. We're going to freeze that. We're going to take that and you're going to pay. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? Because, hey, that's how it goes, right? And so that's what's happening. Okay, let's continue. All right. Case background. Okay, case background. And this is in regards to funds. This is happening FUNDSZ funds is being charged, right, by the CFTC, right? They are, and this just happened. This is breaking news. These people are in trouble, guys, okay? According to the complaint from approximately October 2020 to the present, the defendants solicited participants with claims that funds has historically produced over 3% returns per week using a quote unquote proprietary algorithm for trading cryptocurrencies and precious metals. Among other things, they describe as their quote unquote secret sauce. The defendants also claim they made quote unquote on time and accurate payments for 7 years and made claims that show a one-time $2,500 contribution to funds can be expected to grow to 1 million within 48 months with no additional deposits. In addition, the complaint alleges the defendants have pitched funds as if it had a charitable purpose using the tagline funds for your cause, and falsely implying that contributing to funds would support clean water, humanitarian, health, education, and disaster relief efforts. Okay. Now, at this point, some of you guys might be saying, "Hey, well, they really were doing those things, right?" That's the whole point of going over this. That's the whole point of talking about this. That's the whole point of bringing this to the table is that, are these case are is what they're doing, is this fair? Right? Is this a fair? I mean, do they know that these people are quote unquote fraudsters like they say? Do they have proof of that? Or what findings, because they said we have these findings. Well, what findings do they have? This is a complaint, right? This is allegations, right? This has not been reviewed in a court of law, right? This has not gone to trial. Funds has not had a chance to defend themselves or put up a defense. This is just a blanket statement saying, "Hey, we find this. Boom. What are you going to do about it?" Right? What are you going to do about it? Right? So it's very heavy-handed. Okay, it's very heavy-handed, right? And I guarantee you, I mean, but the people at Funds, when they were doing their company and everything, I guarantee you, they did not expect this to happen, right? And because this is like a hardcore indictment. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Mm-mm. So they're talking about that. They're saying that funds falsely pitched that they were contributing to support clean water, humanitarian, health, education, and disaster relief efforts. Well, guys, how many people do you know that actually were involved in those activities? Right, but they're saying, "Oh no, nobody was." That's what they're saying. That's what the CFTC is saying. The pitch was successful as the defendants claimed to have more than 14,000 participants. But in reality, the complaint alleges funds does not trade customer funds at all, and any customer gains are illusory or illusions, right? As the defendants simply make up fictional weekly returns to report to invest to customers. So they're saying, hey, funds just made it all up. They just made it all up. Figment of their imagination. That's what this is claiming. The CFTC cautions that orders requiring repayment, and this is important to understand, guys. Listen to this. They know what they're doing. The CFTC cautions that orders requiring repayment of funds to victims may not always result in the recovery of lost money because the wrongdoers may not have sufficient funds or assets. Let me read that again. The CFTC cautions that orders requiring payment of funds to victims may not always result in the recovery of lost money. So you may not get your money back, is what they're saying. Yeah, you probably won't, right? Because the quote unquote wrongdoers may not have sufficient funds or assets. But you know who is going to be getting the money? The government. They're going to get theirs, right? You might not get yours, but they're going to get theirs. And you better believe it. All right, let's go ahead and continue this. The Division of Enforcement staff responsible for this matter are Douglas Snowgrass, Matthew Eldestein, Stacy Pan, Elizabeth M. Strait, Scott Williamson, and Robert Howell. CFTC fraud advisories. Okay. The CFTC has issued several customer protection fraud advisories and articles, including the Precious Metals and Fraud Advisory, which provides information about a type of fraud involved in the trading of precious metals, such as gold, silver, palladium, and platinum, and how customers can detect, avoid, and report these scams. The CFTC also strongly urges the public to verify a company's registration with the CFTC before committing funds, right? So there you go. If unregistered, a customer should be wary of providing funds to that company. A company's registration status can be found using NFA Basic. Customers and other individuals can report suspicious activity or information, such as possible violations of commodity trading laws, to the Division of Enforcement. And then it gives some more information on um, their arm of government, right? Which is the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which is a federal government organization. All right, here's a link to the article. There you go. Link is in the chat. Okay, next up. All right, we're going to get into the Jan Gregory debacle. Right, this has also now just happened. Apparently, everything that Jan Gregory has been attached to is now coming under attack by the state of California. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to understand that all of these cases, right, that I'm about to talk about, all of these cases are in relation to Jan Gregory. So they're going after this guy, right? And the companies that he works with just so happen to be, tied to his name. And so by default, they're also going after those companies. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and get this up. All right, guys, let's get into this. So, fraud warnings have been issued from California's Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, right? These fraud warnings as per an August 9th press release, has cited CloudFi, CoinMarketBull, and Vortic United for violations of California securities laws. Okay? As per August 9th press release, the DFPI has cited CloudFi, CoinMarketBull, and Vortic United for violations of California securities laws. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the actual release from the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation from the state of California. This was released on August 9th, 4 days ago. A Crawley, Novatech went private before, but pretty much around the same time they were getting the cease and desist orders. This happened in Novatech. They got orders in Russia, Canada, California, and it just turned into a whole thing. Other states started following suit, and since Novatech allowed people to withdraw all their funds whenever they wanted, there was a run on the bank. So once the cease and desist orders came out, everybody got freaked out, everybody got scared, and everybody pulled out all of their money from Novatech, right? Run on the bank. They liquidated it, right? Novatech, it paid and paid and paid and paid until literally it had no more money left midway through December, right? And at that point, they said, "Hey guys, we got to freeze the accounts," right? And then, as you know, they never really came back from that, even up until now. And here we are, August, right? Halfway through August 2023. DFPI continues actions to protect investors from crypto scams, right? Okay, this is out of Sacramento. The commissioner of the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, DFPI, announced today that she has issued desist and refrain orders against 3 different entities for violations of California securities laws. Each of these entities allegedly offered and sold unqualified securities and made material misrepresentations and omissions to investors related to crypto asset investments. Okay, now there's a very important word here, guys. Allegedly. Okay, allegedly, right? This is a complaint. This is an allegation, right? This is the very beginning, right? None of the companies have had a chance to defend themselves. Jan Gregory hasn't had a chance to defend himself. Nobody's had a chance to defend themselves, right? These are allegations, right? And just because somebody is alleged, let's say somebody is alleged that they committed a murder. He's an alleged murderer, right? Does that mean that he committed the murder? Just because somebody is alleged to be a murderer, does that mean that they're actually a murderer? No. It means that they are being alleged to be a murderer. They're coming under prosecution, right? And the state or the Fed or whoever it is taking action against them. All right, let's continue. All right, so once again, the commissioner of the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, DFPI, announced today that she has issued desist and refrain orders against 3 different entities for violations of California securities laws. Each of these entities allegedly offered and sold unqualified securities and made material misrepresentations and omissions to investors related to crypto asset investments. Okay, the DFPI is on the forefront of combating investment scams involving crypto assets and will continue to leverage the tools at our disposal to do so. So they are going after these platforms, said DFPI Commissioner Clothide V. Hewlett. This includes enforcement actions, social media, and our crypto scam tracker, right? Enforcement and investor education go hand in hand. That's pretty brazen, right? Enforcement and investor education go hand in hand. So we're gonna anyway. Let me just read the content here. The subjects of today's desist and refrain orders are the following entities. Now, here's where you're going to see that Jan Gregory is the target here. Okay, pay attention to this, guys. The subject of today's desist and refrain orders are the following entities: CloudFi and Jan Gregory Serrato. Coin Market Bull and Jan Gregory Serrato. Vortic United and Jan Gregory Serrato. All right. The entities and individuals named in these actions solicited funds from investors to purportedly trade crypto assets on their behalf. The entities in today's actions are classic examples of high yield investment programs, HYIPS. HIPs are investment frauds that typically promise high returns with low risk, promise overly consistent returns, provide little details about the people running the HIP, use vague language to describe how the HIP makes money, offer referral bonuses, facilitate deposits and withdrawals with crypto assets, and use social media to gain attention and attract investors. Right? So basically, their posture here and their stance is that high yield investment platforms are all frauds. All frauds, guys. All high That's what the state of California is saying. All high yield investment platforms are frauds, right? They're upping the game, right? They're upping the ante, right? They're saying it's all a fraud, it's all fake, right? Now, I can tell you that when we talk about promise overly consistent returns. I don't know any of these companies that have promised returns. Provide little details of the people running the HIP? No. Especially Vortic United, it provides great detail of the CEO, Jensen Robles. Use vague language to describe how the HIP makes money? Are you kidding me? Jensen Robles shares his trades on the actual platform. You can see it. But this is what they're doing, right? This is what they're doing. This is what they're releasing. This is what they're stating. This is what they're alleging, and this is a complaint coming from a state agency, right? A state regulator, right? The state of California, right? So does it really? I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that California is the one doing this, but you know this is the first one to do it. Right? So, more on that in a second. Let me go ahead and get through this. I've got a lot to get through tonight, so bear with me, guys. All three of the entities named in the orders today also claim to use artificial intelligence and/or expert traders to trade crypto assets and generate too good to be true returns for investors. Okay? These entities use multi-level marketing schemes that reward investors for recruiting new investors. So, once again, multi-level marketing schemes. Multi-level marketing it's a form of business, right? You ever heard of Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad? He wrote a book called The Business of the Future, and it's about multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing is a business model. Right? They're saying, "Oh, it's a multi-level marketing scheme." It's like, okay, so if you go into real estate, it's a real estate scheme. If you go into banking, it's a banking scheme. If you go into insurance, it's an insurance scheme. Everything's it's a scheme. So the way that they are wording this is a total attack, not just on these platforms, but on the entire industry and on multi-level marketing in general. All three of these entities named in the orders today also claim to use artificial intelligence and/or expert traders to trade crypto assets and generate too good to be true returns for investors. These entities used multi-level marketing schemes that rewarded investors for recruiting new investors. Often, these recruiters were paid for their efforts. Yeah, that's called an affiliate fee. While the investors they brought in lost their investment. Now, that is pretty strong words, my friend, right? Because I know that for CloudFi for a fact, and for Vortic United for a fact, these platforms are still going on and they're still paying out, right? As far as I know, right? I've been paid by Vortic United as recently as last Monday. I have another withdrawal that's supposed to come in tomorrow, right? Now, as for CloudFi, I put in my withdrawal here on Sunday. It's still in the waiting section. So I have not been paid out anything. I made a withdrawal from CloudFi today. The status is waiting, and I have not yet heard anything, nor have I received payment from CloudFi. So if you guys remember, CloudFi recently switched over from having withdrawals at any time, instant withdrawals at any time, to only being able to withdraw on Sunday. So I made a withdrawal on Sunday. right? Guys, I've got 56 people in here and only 6 of you have liked the video. Please like the video because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps get this message out to more people. Nobody else is bringing you the same kind of sauce that I'm giving you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Nobody else is breaking it down for you the way that I'm breaking it down for you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. So, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, if you want to support my work, if you want to support getting this information out there, hit the like button so that we can get this message out to the people who need to hear it. I really appreciate it, guys. Okay, let's get back into this. All right. Okay. Now, they're alleging that investors lost their investment, but like I said, at least 2 of these are still going, right? So who has lost their investment? I mean, I've got a lot of money in all of these actually, but I've got a really large sum of money in Vortic United, right? I don't feel that I've lost that money. Okay, as part of a new social media campaign aimed at alerting current and prospective investors of these investment scams, the DFPI has posted short videos to all social media feeds, right? These videos provide an overview of the enforcement actions and the violations of law that the DFPI found. Okay, and I'm going to give you those videos, guys. I'm going to give you this article. I'm going to give you the actual court documents that have been filed. I'm going to give you all of that. So bear with me, okay? But I'm going to give it to you after I get done reading it so that you all don't click off of here and go start looking at different videos and things like that because you need to have the whole picture, right? Before you just start going off on a tangent on 1 or 2 of the things that I said. This is a lot of information. This is breaking news, right? It's just come out. I did not start this live the minute I heard about this. I took some time to understand what's going on, to read what's going on, to do the research, and to figure out where I stand in all this and what my posture is. And then at that point, I decided to go ahead and go live with this emergency meeting. Okay, so what you're getting here is a well thought out explanation of what's happening, and I want to make sure that you watch the complete video, right, so that you don't miss anything. So that's why I'm not going to give these things right away, but once I get done reading the article, boom, I'll put the article in the chat. I'll put the videos in the chat, and then we're going to get into the actual court documents, right, that have been filed in the state of California. All right. So these videos provide an overview of the enforcement actions and the violations of law that the DFPI found. So they're saying that they found violations of law and that they're taking enforcement actions. Well, you be the one to decide. Okay. This complements the DFPI's efforts to more effectively reach the audience of investors targeted by these types of scams. HYIPS or HIPS, including the ones named in today's actions, often use social media, especially YouTube, as a primary method of recruiting new investors. Okay. They often use social media, especially YouTube, as a primary method of recruiting new investors. Now, guys, YouTube is not going to want to take this heat. Okay. YouTube is not going to want to take this heat. And they're already getting ready to take action against people who talk about crypto platforms, people who talk about investing. So it's just another censorship activity that YouTube is taking, right? There's already certain things you can't talk about on YouTube, like you can't talk about the pandemic, right? The remember that pandemic? Yeah, you can't talk about that, right? You can't talk about the you can't talk about anything having to do with what's going on in some other countries, right? You can't talk about stuff on YouTube. You get censored, you get blackballed, you get blacklisted, you get taken down. They take you down. Right. And so this is just going to be another thing because YouTube is not going to want to deal with the state of California saying that they're complicit in some sort of investment fraud, right? So YouTube is going to go, oh no, and they're just going to they'll kick everybody off. So that's why you guys need to go to rumble.com. Okay, go to rumble.com and in the search chat, search for unlimited freedom 6500. Okay, so when you have time, go to rumble.com, search for unlimited freedom 6500, and join my channel at rumble.com because if and when YouTube decides to kick me off, right, take me out, deplatform me, take me down, I will be on Rumble, right? Rumble is the last free speech platform out there, right? And they pride themselves on letting anybody talk about whatever they want. You can put links in your description, you can do whatever you want to do, right? So there's everything. If you log on here one day and you say, "Hey, what happened to unlimited freedom?" Or you log on one Friday for my live broadcast on Friday and I'm not there, right? Or you go to look at one of my videos because I put out daily videos and you don't see anything, you can go to rumble.com. I'll be there, right? That just means that YouTube took action and did what they did, right? I don't think that it's fair. I definitely don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong talking about these platforms, talking about my crypto journey. This space has been very, very good to me. But it is what it is, guys. If this crackdown continues, uh, make sure that you guys are going to rumble.com. You're signing up at rumble.com and you're following Unlimited Freedom 6500 on rumble.com. Okay, let's continue. This complements the DFPI's efforts to more effectively reach the audience of investors targeted by these types of scams. HIYIP, including the ones named in today's actions, often use social media, especially YouTube, as a primary method of recruiting new investors. The DFPI is flipping the script, directing these alerts towards the same groups of current and prospective investors that the scams themselves target on social media. Well, there's a lot wrong with that sentence. Okay, but let's continue. The DFPI launched this new social media campaign on July 3rd, 2023, with a video announcing an enforcement action against another scam involving crypto assets. Commissioner Hewlett also announced the addition of more crypto scams to the quote unquote scam tracker. The DFPI launched the scam tracker earlier in 2023 to help Californians spot and avoid crypto scams. DFPI is committed to providing the public ongoing insight into the many complaints it continues to receive involving crypto assets. So that's telling right there, guys. So people are complaining, right? People are, and they're complaining to the regulatory agencies for whatever reasons, and now the regulatory agencies are taking action. All right. In addition to regulating the offer and sale of securities, the DFPI licenses and regulates financial products and services, including state chartered banks and credit unions, commodities and investment advisors, finance lenders and brokers, money transmitters, broker dealers, non bank installment lenders, payday lenders, mortgage lenders and services, student loan services, escrow companies, property assessed clean energy program administrators, debt collectors, rent to own contractors, credit repair and consumer credit reporting companies, debt relief companies, and more. In other words, guys, the old school, right? The old school financial industries that we all know about. Right. So they're kind of this crypto stuff is new. So we're gonna attack that and we're gonna say, hey, go back over here, right? Go back to the old way, right? The old way where you make, if you're lucky, you make 9% a year, right, on one of your investments, right? So these high yield things, all a scam, right, guys? That's what they're saying. Any high yield investment platform is a scam. It's got to be a scam, right? That's their position here. All right, let's continue with this. All right. So okay, yeah. So that's the end of it. It just at that point it says confirmed concerned investors can file a complaint. So they're basically soliciting people to file a complaint. It's like, yeah, because they want to keep their job and they want to stay in business. There is a link to that article. We're going to continue here. As per the August 9th press release, the DFPI has cited CloudFi, CoinMarketBull, and Vortic United for quote unquote violations of securities laws. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some of the charging documents. Bear with me for just a second. I don't want this to be too dry, guys, but we need to go over this information. Okay, so this is going to be for all my people who like to dig deep, right? And who like to know what's really going on and who like to understand these things word for word. Okay, so I just gave you an overview of what's happening. The state of California taking action against CoinMarketBull, Vortic United, and CloudFi. Right now, I also gave you an update on what's going on with CloudFi. So far, I haven't got my withdrawal yet. It used to be instant withdrawal. They changed it over to only withdraw on Sundays. I placed my withdrawal early this morning. I've heard nothing from CloudFi. I've not received my withdrawal. So I will let you know what goes on with that into the future. I do have a large sum of money in CloudFi, as well as I did in CoinMarketBull, but I haven't thought about CoinMarketBull for a while. That's kind of been over to me. And then Vortic United, as you know, I've got almost 10 packages. So I was about to get my 10th package with Vortic United. So I have quite a bit tied up in Vortic United, right? So I am definitely not interested in them like taking down, right, these platforms. I'm not interested in that at all. And I don't think that that's going to be the result of this, but I will get to that in a minute. All right, guys, we are going to get into the desist and refrain orders. All right. Now, once I read these, I'm going to also post them here in the chat, right? So you guys are going to have access to the press releases. You guys are going to have access to the CFTC.gov release. You're going to have access to everything that's going on with funds. Funds is in a lot of trouble, guys. I mean, their assets have been frozen. There's action being taken against them by the federal United States of America, not just a state, the United States of America, right? And a branch of their federal government is now coming after funds. Okay, so if you missed that part, you can go watch it later. But I gave you the article there. I also gave you the overview article about what's going on with Jan Gregory and the platforms that he was associated with. So, yeah. So here we go, guys. This is the State of California Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency, Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Okay, this is to CoinMarketBull. Okay, and also Jan Gregory Sorato, desist and refrain order for violations of Section 25110 and 25401 of the Corporation's Code. The Commissioner of Financial Protection and Innovation finds that the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Departments regulates the offer and sale of securities in California under the Corporate Securities Law of 1968. At all relevant times, CoinMarketBull is and was a business entity of unknown type with a purported principal place of business in Kalman Emre, Budapest, Hungary. CoinMarketBull operated the website www.coinmarketbull.co.uk and www.cmbbackoffice.com. At all relevant times, Jan Gregory Sorato held himself out as the global leader and corporate brand manager of CoinMarketBull. At all relevant times, Sorato controlled and induced or provided substantial assistance to CoinMarketBull within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Beginning at least as early as 2023, CoinMarketBull offered and sold securities in the form of investment contracts in California through general solicitations on its website. CoinMarketBull referred to these investment contracts as investments. Okay, so they're alleging that the platforms are selling securities. That's their whole basis for this, guys, right? What CoinMarketBull we know was a crypto trading bot that dealt with crypto trading, but they're saying no, that was a security. Okay, there's an ongoing debate about whether or not crypto falls under the regulations of securities. Some say they do, others say they don't. It has not been fully resolved. It's just one of the reasons why they can make orders like this. CoinMarketBull held itself out as a cryptocurrency trading platform. The purported purpose of the securities offerings was for CoinMarketBull to use investor funds to engage in cryptocurrency trading, which in turn would generate returns for investors who purchased plans. CoinMarketBull claimed that the cryptocurrency trading would be conducted by bots. In reality, a significant portion of the funds that CoinMarketBull received from investors was used to pay other investors in the manner of a Ponzi scheme. This is the allegation, guys. CoinMarketBull represented that its investments produced daily returns of 1.2% through 1.8%, which would be available for investors to withdraw at any time. The plans were publicly available to investors in California via CoinMarketBull's websites. CoinMarketBull's website falsely claimed that it was unable to accept applications from residents of the United States under the guise of complying with applicable laws and regulations. In reality, CoinMarketBull had no methods in place that would prevent a California resident from creating an account and purchasing investments. After investors created their account on the CoinMarketBull website, investors could log into their account using their username and password to monitor their purported balance and returns, deposit funds, and request withdrawals. CoinMarketBull facilitated investor deposits and withdrawals using crypto assets. CoinMarketBull charged investors a 5% fee to withdraw their funds from the platform. In his roles as Chief Marketing Officer and Global Leader Corporate Brand Manager of CoinMarketBull, Creato, that's Jan Gregory, appeared in videos on social media to recruit prospective investors in which he explained the business and illustrated how investors would make money by investing in CoinMarketBull. Cerrito stated that investors could expect returns of 400% annually. Is that right? Did he state that? Cerrito advised prospective investors that CoinMarketBull was engaging in trading activity that was prohibited in the United States. However, Cerrito stated that CoinMarketBull could legally offer these investments to American investors because CoinMarketBull was not based in the United States. As part of its solicitation efforts, CoinMarketBull used a multi-level marketing scheme that would reward investors for inducing others to send money to CoinMarketBull. According to this program, investors would be paid a referral bonus based on the amount of funds deposited by investors that were recruited. Investors would also be paid additional referral bonuses when the investors that they recruited in turn recruited new investors. Okay, CoinMarketBull investors seeking to take advantage of CoinMarketBull's referral program created and posted videos to YouTube and posted content on other social media websites to recruit others to invest in CoinMarketBull. In fact, CoinMarketBull was luring investors into what is known as a high yield investment program, or high YIP. High YIPs are unregistered investments typically run by unlicensed individuals and are often frauds. Okay, there's that word, often frauds. The hallmark of a high yield scam is the promise of high returns on annual or even monthly, weekly, or daily basis with little or no risk to the investor. Who ever said that? Right? Do you remember any of these guys saying that there was little or no risk to the investors? Does anybody remember that? I've never heard anybody say that. The investments offered by CoinMarketBull were securities that were neither qualified nor exempt from the qualification requirement under the CSL. Now, that is a bold statement. Right? They're alleging that these were securities. Well, is it a security or not, right? Is crypto a security or not? They're saying yes, it was. The department has not issued a permit or other form of qualification authorizing CoinMarketBull to sell these securities in California. In connection with the offer or sale of these securities, CoinMarketBull and Cerrito made or caused to be made untrue statements of material fact and material omissions to investors and potential investors, including but not limited to the following. A, failing to disclose that CoinMarketBull used investor funds to pay purported profits to other investors in the manner of a Ponzi scheme. Well, if they weren't doing it, how could they disclose it? B, misrepresenting the expected profits and risk of loss. And C, failing to disclose that the offer or sale of CoinMarketBull securities was not qualified in California. Based on the foregoing findings, the commissioner is of the opinion that the securities offered or sold by CoinMarketBull Jan Gregory Cerrito were subject to qualification under the CSL and have been or being offered or sold without first being qualified in violation of Corporations Code Section 25110. Moreover, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jan Gregory Certo has violated Corporations Code Section 25110 by knowingly, directly or indirectly controlling or inducing or providing substantial assistance to CoinMarketBull to violate Corporations Code Section 25110 within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporations Code Section 25532, CoinMarketBull and Jan Gregory Cerrito are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from the further offer of sale of securities in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as investments, unless and until the qualification requirements of the CSL have been met. In addition, the commissioner is of the opinion that CoinMarketBull and Jan Gregory Sororto offered or sold securities in California by means of oral or written communications, which included untrue statements of material facts or omitted to state material facts necessary in order to make statements made in light of the circumstances under which they were made, not misleading in violation of Corporations Code Section 25401. Further, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jan Gregory Cerrito has violated Corporations Code Section 25401 by knowingly, directly, or indirectly controlling or inducing, providing substantial assistance to CoinMarketBull to violate Corporations Code Section 25401 within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporations Code Section 25532, CoinMarketBull and Jan Gregory Certo are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from offering or selling or buying or offering to buy any security in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as investments, by means of any written or oral communication which includes an untrue statement of material fact or omits to state a material fact necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of the circumstances under which they were made not misleading. Any person who, with knowledge, directly or indirectly controls and induces another person to violate any provision of the CSL or knowingly provides substantial assistance to another person to violate any provision of the CSL is deemed to be in violation of that provision to the same extent as the other person. This order is necessary in the public interest for the protection of investors and is consistent with the purposes, policies, and provisions of the Corporate Securities Law of 1968. Okay. The Corporate and Securities Law of 1968 could not have possibly provided sufficient laws for cryptocurrencies, right? So this whole thing is based on the premise that cryptocurrencies and crypto platforms are a security, which that is debatable, and that is being debated in a court of law. However, this cease and refrain order, what I would recommend CoinMarketBull do if they do plan to keep going is I would recommend them to just no longer deal with anybody who's operating from a United States IP address, right? And then that will be a further layer of protection to where if somebody does live in another country, or if they have access to another country, or if they use a VPN, they'll still be able to access the website, right? But they will no longer be something where somebody can just log on from the United States, boom, and go and access it. That's if CoinMarketBull is even going to continue. Now, as far as I know, CoinMarketBull has not been active for quite some time, and I haven't heard anything about CoinMarketBull coming back. So this order is a little bit irrelevant, right? And so that's my feeling, but that's my opinion, right? That's my reaction. That's my posture when it comes to CoinMarketBull. Hey, if you are going to come back, just operate outside of the United States altogether, right? Don't even deal with it, because I mean, look what's happening here, right? You can't do anything, right, without coming under the red tape of these regulators, right? And it's not just CoinMarketBull, it's not just Vortic United, it's not just CloudFi, it's a lot of others, right? And it's just like this firing squad that they're just trying to take out anything that has to do with crypto, right? And you have to ask yourself why that is, right? And another question that we ought to ask ourselves is, should we be free to participate in a program with our own money that we want to participate in, right? Should we be free to do that? I think we should, right? Not everybody makes smart decisions with their money, but it's not like, why does the government have to force us to make smart decisions according to them? Why do they have to force us what we do with our crypto or with our money? Do we need that? I mean, are we children? Right? Do we not have the ability to think for ourselves? Do we not have the ability to make our own decisions as to what we want to do with what's ours? All right, so that was the desist and refrain order having to do with CoinMarketBull. Let me go ahead and share that here for you guys. There you go. All right, so that one is done. That was CoinMarketBull. Let's go ahead and close that out. We'll close this out. Close this out. All right, let's jump into CloudFi. CloudFi, Queens Road Central, Hong Kong. Jan Gregory Soreto. That once again, they're just going off of whatever this guy's affiliated with. State of California, Business Consumer Services and Housing Agency, Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, desist and refrain order for violations of Section 25110 and 25401 of the Corporation's Code. The Commissioner of Financial Protection and Innovation Commissioner finds that the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation regulates the offer and sale of securities in California under the Corporate Securities Law of 1968. At all relevant times, CloudFi is and was a business entity of unknown type with an unknown principal place of business. CloudFi's website falsely claimed that it was registered as a corporation in Hong Kong and provided an incomplete business address. Queens Road Central, Hong Kong, China. CloudFi operated the website www.cloudfi.app and www.cloudfi.info. Beginning at least as early as May 2023, Jan Gregory Soreto held himself out as the CEO of CloudFi. I don't know about that. I don't recall that. Okay. Serato controlled and induced or provided substantial assistance to CloudFi within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B, beginning at least as early as 2023. CloudFi offered and sold securities in the form of investment contracts in California through general solicitations on its website. CloudFi referred to these investment contracts as packages. CloudFi held itself out as a cryptocurrency trading platform. The purported purpose of the securities offerings was for CloudFi to use investor funds to engage in cryptocurrency trading, which in turn would generate returns for investors who purchase packages. CloudFi claimed that the cryptocurrency trading would be conducted by an experienced team of crypto professionals using artificial intelligence AI software. CloudFi heavily promoted the benefits of its purported AI software and suggested that investors could expect high returns and substantial passive income due to this technological advantage. CloudFi acknowledged that the cryptocurrency market is highly volatile, but claimed that its trading activity produced a low risk income stream. CloudFi represented that its packages produced daily returns of 1.25%, which would be available for investors to withdraw at any time. The packages were publicly available to investors in California via CloudFi's website, www.cloudfi.app and www.cloudfi.info. After investors created their accounts on the CloudFi website, investors could go log into their account using their username and password to monitor their purported balance and returns, deposit funds, and request withdrawals. CloudFi facilitated investor deposits and withdrawals using crypto assets. In his role as CEO of CloudFi, Serato gave recruitment presentations to prospective investors in which he claimed that investing in CloudFi was very low risk and very sustainable. As part of its solicitation efforts, CloudFi used a multi-level marketing scheme that would reward investors for inducing others to send money to CloudFi. According to this program, investors would be paid a referral bonus based on the amount of funds deposited by the investors that they recruited. Investors would also be paid additional referral bonuses when the investors that they recruited in turn recruited new investors. Investors seeking to take advantage of CloudFi's referral program created and posted videos to YouTube and posted content on other social media websites to recruit others to invest in CloudFi. In fact, CloudFi was luring investors into what's known as a high yield investment program, or high YIP. High YIPs are unregistered investments typically run by unlicensed individuals and are often frauds. The hallmark of a high YIP scam is the promise of high returns on an annual or even monthly, weekly, or daily basis at little or no risk to the investor. Another key element of most high YIPs is a referral program in which the high YIP offers referral commissions or bonuses to investors to recruit new investors. This usually leads to investors sharing information about the high YIP with their friends and family and promoting the high YIPs on social media. High YIPs rarely disclose the true identities of the individuals operating the high YIP. The packages offered by CloudFi were securities that neither qualified nor that were neither qualified nor exempt from the qualification required under the CSL Act. Once again, they're saying these are securities. The department has not issued a permit or other form of qualification authorizing CloudFi to sell these securities in California. In connection with the offer or sale of these securities, CloudFi and Serato made or caused to be made untrue statements of material fact and material omissions to investors and potential investors, including but not limited to the following. A, failing to disclose that it used investor funds to pay purported profits to other investors in the manner of a Ponzi scheme. B, misrepresented the expected profits and risk of loss. And C, failing to disclose that the offer or sale of CloudFi securities were not qualified in California. Based on the foregoing findings, the commissioner is of the opinion that the securities offered or sold by CloudFi and Jan Gregory Serato were subject to qualification under the CSL and have been or being offered or sold without first being qualified in violation Corporations Code Section 25110. Moreover, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jan Gregory Serato has violated Corporation Code Section 25110 by knowingly, directly, or indirectly controlling or inducing, providing substantial assistance to CloudFi to violate Corporations Code 25110 within the meaning of Corporation Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporations Code Section 25532, CloudFi and Jan Gregory Serato are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from the further offer or sales of securities in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as packages, unless and until the qualification requirements of the CSL have been met. In addition, the commission is of the opinion that CloudFi and Jan Gregory Serato offered or sold securities in California by means of oral or written communications, which included untrue statements of material facts or omitted to state material facts necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of circumstances under which they were made, not misleading in violation of Corporations Code Section 25401. Further, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jan Gregory Serato have violated Corporations Code Section 25401 by knowingly, directly, or indirectly controlling or inducing, providing substantial assistance to CloudFi to violate Corporations Code Section 25401 within the meaning of Corporations Code 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporations Code Section 25532, CloudFi and Jan Gregory Serato are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from ordering or from offering or selling or buying or offering to buy any security in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as packages by means of any written or oral communication, which includes an untrue statement of material fact or omits to state a material fact necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of circumstances under which they were made not misleading. Any person who, with knowledge, directly or indirectly, controls and induces another person to violate any provision of the CSL or knowingly provides substantial assistance to another person to violate any provision of the CSL is deemed to be in violation of that provision to the same extent as the other person, California Corporate Code 25403 A and B. This order is necessary in the public interest for the protection of investors and is consistent with the purposes, policies, and provisions of the Corporate Securities Laws 1968. All right. Boom. And here we go. There is the link to that. Now, what I would recommend for CloudFi is to say that you need to respond to this, right? The one big thing that Novatech did wrong back when they first were getting cease and desist orders is they did not respond. You need to respond. CloudFi, you have to respond. You cannot act like this is not happening, right? That's going to cause a panic and it's going to cause everybody to withdraw all their money. So, first and foremost, you need to respond, right? Secondly, what I would recommend doing is just remove your platform from the United States. A lot of other platforms are not accessible in the United States, right? People have to use a VPN to access the platform. People have to have addresses in other countries. If they don't want you here, if they're going to bring these types of things against you, then I would recommend just leaving if you're not going to fight with this with lawyers in court, right? I would recommend just going, abiding by international law, right? And taking your platform 100% overseas, but you have to respond. If you don't respond, your people will panic, your people will withdraw everything, and you'll be liquidated. You're not going to be able to pay everybody out, right? And it's going to kill your platform. It's going to destroy your platform. You have to respond to this, and you have to respond now. Okay? So, having said that, that's my stance on CloudFi. I am looking to be paid within the next 24 hours, right? Because I made my withdrawal today, this Sunday. It has not come in yet. Okay. Now, if CloudFi is going to pull the rug, this might be a good time for them to do that, right? And that might happen, right? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what CloudFi is going to do, but what I'm hoping for is that tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, right? I will get that withdrawal that I made from CloudFi, that they will continue to pay out withdrawals. Check, check, check. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Somebody let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Cool. I'm hoping that they do the right thing and continue to pay out the investors, right? Continue to pay out the people who are making withdrawals, and that they come out and respond to this. Okay, you cannot ignore this. You have to respond to this, and then okay, so Michael, thank you for that. It said that you put in a request on Sundays and the payment will come on Monday in batches. Shout out to you for sharing that information. There you go. So hopefully it will come out tomorrow and then Tuesday at the latest, right? And I'll let you guys know if I get my withdrawal. But what I'm hoping is they go ahead and continue to operate, continue giving the withdrawals, and they respond to this and then take whatever action accordingly that they need to take. Obviously, they're going to have to be blacked out in California at the very least, right? All right, guys. Last one. Okay. State of California Business Consumer Services and Housing Agency, Department of Financial Protection and Innovation to Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, Vortic Consulting Ltd, Jensen Robles, Jan Gregory Serrato, 86-90 Paul Street, London, England, EC2A4NE, www.vortic-united.com. Desist and refrain order for violations of sections 25110 and 25401 of the Corporation's Code. The Commissioner of Financial Protection and Innovation Commissioner finds that the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Department regulates the offer and sale of securities in California under the Corporate Securities Law of 1968. At all relevant times, Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, Vortic Consulting Ltd are and were United Kingdom companies with a purported principal place of business at 86-90 Paul Street, London, England, EC2A4NE, as well as in Istanbul, Turkey. Vortic United operated the website www.vorticunited.com, as well as social media accounts on Facebook, Telegram, and YouTube. At all relevant times, Jensen Robles held himself out as the head trader and CEO of Vortic United. That's right. At all relevant times, Robles controlled and induced or provided substantial assistance to Vortic United within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Question is, does cryptocurrency and crypto trading actually fall under that? And that's a big question mark. Number 5, at all relevant times, Jan Gregory Serrato held himself out as Chief Marketing Officer of Vortic United. Guys, I've never heard that. Right? I've never heard that Jan Gregory was the chief marketing officer of Vortic United. And Vortic United's been my number one crypto trading platform for some time now, right? I didn't think that Jan was really that much affiliated with them at all. So that's news to me. All right, beginning at least as early as 2023, Vortic United offered and sold securities in the form of investment contracts in California through general solicitations on its website. Vortic United referred to these investment contracts as portfolios. Vortic United held itself out as a cryptocurrency trading platform. The purported purpose of the securities offerings was for Vortic United to use investor funds to engage in cryptocurrency trading, which in turn would generate returns for investors who purchased portfolios. Vortic United claimed that the cryptocurrency trading would be conducted by experienced traders. Vortic United represented that its portfolios produced daily profits of 0.6% through 1.2%, which would be available for investors to withdraw at any time. Wrong. The portfolios were publicly available to investors in California via Vortic United's website, www.vortic-united.com. After investors created their accounts on the Vortic United website, investors could log into their account using their username and password to monitor their purported balance and returns, deposit funds, and request withdrawals. Vortic United facilitated deposits and withdrawals using crypto assets, including Tether USDT. Vortic United charged investors a 5% fee to withdraw their funds from the platform. In his role as chief marketing officer of Vortic United, Serrato appeared in videos on social media to recruit prospective investors, which he touted Vortic United and reiterated Vortic United's promised returns of 0.6 through 1.2%. Serrato stated that the investments were low risk and assured prospective investors that these results were sustainable and consistent. In his role as CEO of Vortic United, Robles appeared in numerous videos to solicit investors, including videos posted on Vortic United's official YouTube channel. As part of its solicitation efforts, Vortic United used a multi-level marketing scheme that would reward investors for inducing others to send money to Vortic United. According to this program, investors would be paid a referral bonus based on the amount of funds deposited by the investors that they recruited. Investors would also be paid additional referral bonuses when the investors that they recruited in turn recruited new investors. Investors seeking to take advantage of Vortic United's referral program created and posted videos in YouTube and posted content on other social media websites to recruit others to invest in Vortic United. In fact, Vortic United was luring investors into what is known as a high yield investment program, or HIYIP. HIYIPs are unregistered investments typically run by unlicensed individuals and are often frauds. The hallmark of a HIYIP scam is the promise of high returns on an annual or even monthly, weekly, or daily basis at little to no risk to the investor. Another key element of most HIYIPs is a referral program in which the HIYIP offers referral commissions or bonuses to investors to recruit new investors. This usually leads to investors sharing information about the HIYIP with their friends and family and promoting the HIYIP on social media. HIYIPs rarely disclose the true identities of the individuals operating the HIYIP. The portfolios offered by Vortic United were securities that were neither qualified nor exempt from the qualification requirements under the CSL. The department has not issued a permit or other form of qualification authorizing Vortic United to sell securities in California. In connection with the offer or sale of these securities, Vortic United, Robles, and Serrato made or caused to be made untrue statements of material fact and material omission to investors and potential investors, including but not limited to the following: A, failing to disclose that Vortic United used investor funds to pay purported profits to other investors in the manner of a Ponzi scheme. B, misrepresented the expected profits and risk of loss. C, falsely represented that Vortic United was fully licensed and compliant with all relevant laws. And D, failing to disclose that the offer of sale of Vortic United securities was not qualified in California. Based on the foregoing findings, the commissioner is of the opinion that the securities offered or sold by Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, and Vortic Consulting Ltd, Jensen Robles and Jan Gregory Serrato were subject to qualification under the CSL and have been or are being offered and sold without first being qualified in violation of Corporations Code Section 25110. Moreover, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jensen Robles and Jan Gregory Serrato have violated Corporations Code Section 25110 by knowingly, directly, or indirectly controlling or inducing or providing substantial assistance to Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, and Vortic Consulting Ltd to violate Corporations Code Section 25110 within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporations Code Section 25532, Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, and Vortic Consulting Ltd, Jensen Robles and Jan Gregory Serrato are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from the further offer of sale or securities in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as portfolios, unless and until the qualification requirements of the CSL have been met. In addition, the commissioner is of the opinion that Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, and Vortic Consulting Ltd, Jensen Robles and Jan Gregory Serrato offered or sold securities in California by means of oral or written communications, which included untrue statements of material facts or omitted to state material facts necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of the circumstances under which they were made, not misleading in violation of Corporations Code Section 25401. Further, the commissioner is of the opinion that Jensen Robles and Jan Gregory Serrato have violated Corporations Code Section 25401 by knowingly, directly, or indirectly controlling or inducing or providing substantial assistance to Vortic United Ltd, Vortic United Holding, Vortic Consulting Ltd to violate Corporations Code Section 25401 within the meaning of Corporations Code Section 25403, subdivisions A and B. Pursuant to Corporation Code Section 25532, Vortic United Ltd, Vortic Holding Ltd, Vortic Consulting Ltd, Jensen Robles, and Jan Gregory Serrato are hereby ordered to desist and refrain from offering or selling or buying or offering to buy any security in California, including but not limited to investment contracts known as portfolios, by means of any written or oral communication, which includes an untrue statement of a material fact or omits to state a material fact necessary in order to make the statements made in the light of the circumstances under which they were made, not misleading. Any person who knowingly, directly, or indirectly controls and induces another person to violate any provision of the CSL or knowingly provides substantial assistance to another person to violate any provision of the CSL is deemed to be in violation of that provision to the same extent as the other person. California Corporations Code 25403A and B. This order is necessary in the public interest for the protection of investors and is consistent with the purposes, policies, and provisions of the corporate securities laws of 1968. Okay, there's the complaint. I will link it here. Okay. So now I've linked the CFTC.gov press release about the company funds. I have linked the overall complaint about the three companies, Vortic United, CoinMarket Bull, and CloudFi. Okay, and I've also linked the actual court documents, right? All of those are linked here in the chat. Okay, so let's have a quick debriefing. This is a crypto crackdown emergency meeting. All of these cases, except for the case of funds, are in relation to Jan Gregory, right? So this is in relation to Jan Gregory. These are complaints about Jan Gregory, right? And these companies are those companies that he's affiliated with. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about actions the platforms have already taken and actions that they can take to move past this and to keep operating. Now, CoinMarketBull, I have very little to say about CoinMarketBull. I mean, they haven't been really doing anything for some time. I don't even know if they're even doing anything anymore, right? So that's kind of a there's no real reason for me to harp on CoinMarketBull. CloudFi needs to get the to now that they've made this change for the Sunday withdrawals that are going to be paid out on Monday or maybe Tuesday at the latest. They need to honor that. And then CloudFi, you have to respond to this, right? My recommendation, Just pull out of the United States altogether, right? And let people use a VPN to access your site. That's what a lot of these other companies are doing, and it seems to be working, right? Uh, However, CloudFi has already taken an action before this even all came out, which is they have parted ways with Jan Gregory. So Jan Gregory has already been removed from CloudFi. So Jan Gregory is no longer part of CloudFi at all, right? Now, let's talk about Vortic United. Vortic United has already changed the language of their website. They no longer call their packages portfolios, right? They now call them packages, right? So they've already changed the language in compliance with international law. Vortic United has already gotten lawyers involved to make sure that they are compliant with international law. Now, all I can say to Vortic United is stay compliant. And yes, you're going to have to respond to this. You cannot just let these orders come out and not respond because that's going to cause people to panic, right? And when they panic, what happens? They pull out all their money and they cause a run on the bank. Now, Vortic United already has a lever in place to combat a run on the bank. So since our funds, right, our packages are locked up for a certain amount of weeks with Vortic United, we cannot withdraw those principals until the time stated that for stated in that package, right? So that for some of them it's 32 weeks, for some of them it's 40 weeks, right? For some of them it's 30 weeks, right? 36 weeks, right? So there cannot be a run on the bank, even if people did panic from Vortic United. But if you don't want them to panic, the first order of business is to come out and respond. You need to respond. You've got to respond. Okay. And if necessary, you may have to go ahead and pull out of the United States altogether and make your website only accessible with a VPN or with an address in another country, like some of these other uh, companies have done, right? So we cannot speak to anything that has not happened yet, okay? But since this has happened, what they need to do is they need to address it, right? And I would say the same thing about any company that had something like this happen. Well, you got to address it. You got to talk to your people. So talk about what happened. If you are taking steps to combat this, tell us what those steps are, right? And that's going to give your people a lot of confidence that you're on the ball, right? That you're taking this seriously, that you have a plan, and that it's okay. You have a plan to win, and you're still going to be around, and you're planning to stick around, right? What you don't want to do is ignore this. That's the worst possible thing you can do because that's going to cause a panic. It's exactly what we saw happen last year with Novatech. Novatech ignored the cease and desist orders. People panicked. There was a bank run. It basically took the platform out. Now, we don't know if Novatech's going to come back in the future or not, but we know that effectively right now, everything is zeroed out, right? And so if you don't want that to happen, make sure that you're communicating with your people. Hey, yes, we know about this. Hey, yes, we have lawyers or whatever. Here's what we're doing about it. Here's what we're going to do in the future. Also, you may want to consider just making it VPN only access, right? I know that you probably don't want to do that, right? You probably like the United States market and you want to be able to operate in the United States. Hey, we all like the United States market. We would all love to operate in the United States. But the fact is, the United States is pushing these companies out. They're saying, we don't want you here. They're calling you a Ponzi scheme. They're calling you a fraud, right? They're saying, we don't want you. So what are you going to do? You're going to let your company go down? You're going to let your company get taken out and sink like the Titanic? No, you can't do that. after doing so much good for so many people and making a difference in so many people's lives. No, you can't roll over. You can't just roll over and die. You have to address it. You have to fight it. You've got to come out. You got to talk about it. You've got to do exactly what I'm doing right now, right? Is you got to get people together, explain what's happening, and talk about the situation, talk about what the best moves are to make going forward, right? So that your people don't panic and people continue to be a part of your platform, right? CloudFi is a great platform. Vortic United has been my #1 crypto trading platform for some time. I'm super happy, super satisfied with Vortic United, right? I've got a lot of skin in the game in both of those platforms, right? So this isn't just the funds of people who have like signed up. These are fun. These are my actual funds, right? I put my money where my mouth is, right? So we want to see you take action. We want to see you come out. We want to see you speak about this. You know, stand up here. Stand up and fight. Stand up, right? Don't just lay down. Don't say nothing. Don't ignore this, right? That's the worst possible move you can make. More on this as the updates continue to roll in.